Welcome back to the Seattle Bird Podcast. I'm your host, Leo. This episode, our bird spotlight is on the cackling goose. This bird is very similar in appearance to the Canada goose, my favorite goose. In fact, they used to be one species. More about that later. Cackling geese are smaller than Canada geese, and their necks are noticeably shorter and thicker. Another way to distinguish them is that cackling geese have a higher pitched call than Canada geese. According to the Audubon Society, cackling geese have a call like an alto, compared to a Canada goose who would be a tenor. Side note about how species are split. It is determined by the American Ornithological Society, AOS. The AOS maintains a checklist of North American birds. There is inexplicably a hyphen between check and list. To suggest a change to this list, birders must submit a proposal and get 2/3 approval from members. To learn about a species that received a split, a merge, and another split, listen back to our episode on mallards, link in the show notes. Cackling geese were split from Canada geese. They used to be part of one species, but in 2004, scientists took 4 of the 11 subspecies of Canada geese and turned them into their own species called cackling geese. There's also one extra subspecies of cackling geese, but they're unfortunately extinct. The AOS records only go back to 2007, but what I found on stackexchange says that DNA studies about voice, migration timing, nesting, and size convinced the AOS to split the species. Unlike Canada geese, cackling geese breed in the tundra and can be found in Seattle only during the winter. The smallest subspecies of cackling goose, Minima, is 1/4 the size of the largest subspecies of Canada goose, Maxima. That makes the small cackling geese about the size of a mallard. Check the show notes for a photo of a tiny cackling goose. AKA Branta hutchinsi, cackling geese are most closely related to Canada geese. For more information about Canada geese, listen back to our first episode. The bird calls were recorded by Gregory Budney, Mike Anderson, and Jeffrey A. Keller, and made available by the Macaulay Library at the Cornell Lab for Ornithology. Sources for this episode are in the show notes. The audio editing is by me. The theme song is by Felix. I'm your host, Leo. Until next time.